Good morning.
Good morning.
Before we begin our service, we have a special short announcement with a video. This video is from the creator of our upcoming 10-week Absolute Abundance course. We invite you to sign up in the fellowship room. We need a minimum of 10 members, so a few more would be really helpful to reach that 10. It begins this Wednesday at 7, and this is the last Sunday to sign up. The course is open to all Unity people, their friends, relatives, and strangers that they have yet to meet. This is a tithing course. The materials available for the course can be purchased here today in the bookstore or on the night of the course. Now let's watch this short video.
Deepak Chopra, just to name a few. Hi, my name is Reverend Ken Daigle, and I'm Hi, my name is Reverend Ken Daigle, and I'm delighted to talk to you today about absolute abundance. After studying and participating in many of the prosperity programs in the field today, I was called upon to create a truly interactive learning experience for my congregation. One that incorporated their real-life experiences and their personal insights. This course is the result of that study and that work. I also designed Absolute Abundance to be facilitated and taught by others, so that the students and your local facilitator come together to create a truly interactive and meaningful learning experience. Together we will look at thought leaders across the spectrum, people like Amy Cuddy, Brene Brown, and Fred Luskin, and of course Unity classic teachers such as Emily Cady, Charles Fillmore, and my personal favorite, Eric Butterworth. But we don't stop there. We look at many new thought leaders in the field today. Marianne Williamson, Eckhart Tolle, Deepak Chopra, just to name a few. And then we apply these teachings and their practices over a 10-week course to find out what works for us, what will propel us forward and transform our lives. Absolute Abundance is designed with a variety of videos and games, exercises, and readings so that the student comes together with the teachings and finds their way through them. Hey, I designed Absolute Abundance, and I know it's not like anything else in the field today. So I would be honored if you would join us. Sign up today and begin to transform the rest of your life. Hey, we offer a money-back guarantee. You've got nothing to lose. I look forward to seeing you in class.
All right, so sign up. This is a valuable tool to help us on our spiritual journey. Another short reminder, Unity Canada Conference. It's coming up soon, September 26th to the 29th here in Toronto at the Hampton Hotel near the airport. It's an amazing training program with a lot of awesome music. And there are flyers in the fellowship room for your further information. Now let's begin our service. Divine source of all that is, with an open...
We sing a song.
Well, it says open song. Yes, we will begin to sing. Okay.
That's all right. We played this tune last week, and with the misunderstanding, we thought that you folks knew this tune because it is from the Unity songbook. But apparently most people didn't, and there was a little mix-up with the words. So we thought, let's try it again this week because it's a beautiful song and a lovely way, we think, to start the service and to start our week. So please feel free to join us. It's very, very simple, and it goes like this.
Good morning, Spirit. I feel you in my heart. What a way to start each day. Good morning, Spirit. I can always feel your love, and that'll be enough to light my way. Good morning, Spirit. Good morning, Spirit. Good morning, Spirit. It's gonna be a great day.
Divine source of all that is, with an open and grateful heart, we come together, affirming that we live in the light of God. We open our hearts and minds to hear the messages of today's lesson and music. We hold in prayer Unity of Windsor, Unity of Victoria, and Reverend Laurie as she ministers to Unity of Ottawa today, as well as all other spiritual gatherings taking place, knowing that there are many paths to the one God. Let's take a few moments now to whisper the names of those we wish to send healing energy to. We hold in prayer all those experiencing discord, illness, uncertainty in their lives. We see them being guided, protected, and provided for. We affirm that the one power and presence in this world is moving powerfully in their lives for their highest good. We see our world returning to peace and cooperation between nations, confident that the divine plan on earth is unfolding. May we continue to live in grace and gratitude in the name of the loving Christ's presence. Amen. Welcome and good morning. Thank you for coming to share of yourselves with all of us. Is there anyone here for the first time? Welcome. I trust you've received a short form that you will complete so that we may keep you updated on Unity events. And if you feel free, bring it to the bookstore where you'll receive a small gift of gratitude. You are an expression of the divine, and we are so glad you are here. All right. Unity Worldwide follows a set of 5 principles. Let's say these together. God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. Through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. I do and give my best by living the truth I know. I make a difference. We have a vision and mission statements we can read together. A world powerfully transformed through the growing movement, shared spiritual awakening. Our mission, we are a loving, inclusive community, co-creating with spirit to transform lives. Have an opportunity to now stand and sing.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. The Spirit sets my light ablaze, I'm gonna let it shine. Spirit sets my light ablaze, I'm gonna let it shine. Spirit sets my light ablaze, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I won't let anyone put it out, I'm gonna let it shine. I won't let anyone put it out, I'm gonna let it shine. I won't let anyone put it out, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine for all to see, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine for all to see, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine for all to see, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, this little light is part of me, I'm gonna let it shine. This light's at the heart of me, I'm gonna let it shine. I will chase the dark away, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everybody, let's do it now. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Nicely done, folks. Nicely done.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Unity's foundation is affirmative prayer. If you wish private one-on-one prayer, we have a prayer chaplain available to pray with you following today's service. And today's prayer chaplain, she just waved, is Wilda there in the front row. And you can meet Wilda after the service, go out through the fellowship room, up the little orange steps, and just keep on going straight. If you'd like additional prayer for yourself or a loved one, please just put their first name on a piece of paper and place it in the prayer box on the table right there at the front. It'll be prayed over here at Unity of London by our prayer angels for 30 days, and then it'll be sent on to Unity Village where it'll be prayed over for an additional 30 days. Remember, 24 hours a day, you can call 1-800-NOW-PRAY to reach the folks at Silent Unity. They've been praying with and for people for over 130 years. And now, a message from the Daily Word. And I'll try to speak slowly because Blanca keeps telling me I read these things too fast. Potential. Centered in truth, my spiritual potential is unlimited. The word potential is defined as the inherent capacity for coming into being. In this sense, I embrace the spiritual potential that defines my own being. Whatever limits may appear as this day unfolds, I remember that these are merely expressions of my human consciousness. Spirit is my only truth. Each day offers rich opportunities to deny power to the ideas of limitation and remember the spiritual truth that Paul affirmed in his letter to the Philippians. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. I allow my spiritual potential to manifest through every challenge and experience. By unleashing my divine potential, I dissolve negative energies and become an expression of pure love and infinite possibility. And that's based on Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through him who strengthens me.
We've had some people asking if we're going to be having guest performers, as has been the case in the past, and the answer is absolutely yes. Because it's summertime, we've had a little difficulty. That's one of those things that is obviously at the heart of the Unity teachings, but for Carl and I particularly, we've come to appreciate the value of this, of reaching out to everyone around us. So here's a tune by James Taylor that talks about that exact thing. Well, you can play the game and you can act the part, even though it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how can you stand there with a broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? One thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. That things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. That things are gonna work out fine if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. Tell me what you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself, all alone. Once you tell somebody the way that you feel, you can feel it beginning to ease. I think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel, always getting the grease. So shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out better if you only will. Shower the people you love.
Wow, it's great to be here. I say that with a little bit of enthusiasm because yesterday I came down with the flu really hard and really fast. And I was really anxious that I wasn't going to be able to be here, but I applied the Unity principle of thinking health, thinking recovery, thinking, envisioning myself here, and here I am. Yay! Yay. So, those of you who follow me on Facebook might be aware of the fact that life's been handing me some interesting challenges lately. And not just one thing at a time, but thing after thing after thing. And I want to confess to you, my Unity family, that I haven't felt all that spiritual through the whole thing. Sometimes it's been really tough when things have been happening for me to feel spiritual. As a matter of fact, if I had heard anyone say to me, "We know and trust that everything's unfolding exactly as it should for your highest and greatest good," I would have punched them in the nose. Now, I know that's not very loving or spiritual, but that's where I was. That's the space I was in. Boom, right in the kisser. When we're in the muck, as I've been lately, it's really, really hard to believe that what you're experiencing is for your good. That takes faith. And faith is hard sometimes, especially when things are hard, are difficult. And that has led me many times over the last couple of months to throw my hands back and go, why me? Why me? Unity Principle 5 invites us to, through our thoughts, words, and actions, live the truth we know. Now, is anyone else willing to admit for me today that sometimes they find that hard? Is anyone else? Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. When we're down in the arena and life is kicking, oh, there goes my shoe. Kicking us and punching us and getting us again a couple more times. It's really, really hard to remain faithful. I feel lighter. This is a casual talk. So it is hard when you're in the arena of life to live the truth we know. Now, I think when things are going well and it's all sunshine and roses, it's easy to walk around with a big fat silly grin on your face and be spiritual. It's easy, right? But when life gets hard, and it gets hard for everyone, when life gets hard and it feels like we're being tested. It feels like we're being tested. It's difficult to remain spiritual. But this is precisely when our faith serves us the best. This is precisely when we need to rely on Spirit. Their Spirit there for us, reminding us of our truth and whispering to us, everything will be okay. Say it with me. Everything will be okay. I can't tell you how many times over the last few weeks I have had to say that to myself. So, in the readings preparing for this talk, Reverend Laurie's been asking us to reference the wisdoms of Sundays. I was introduced to Father Richard Rohr. He writes a lot of books, and I really, really connected with him. Very gentle spirit. And he's made a statement when talking to Oprah that really resonated for me. He said that everything meaningful is learned from suffering, humiliation, betrayal, failure, and pain. Everything meaningful is learned from these things. Because from these things, we learn surrendering, accepting, and true knowing. True knowing. Let me tell you something. After what I've been through over the past few weeks, it's been an opportunity for me to come face to face with Unity Principle 5 and say, how do I live the truth I know when life gets hard? Father Rohr invites us to ask the question, who are you? And there are actually two identities that we are familiar with. There's the true self, which is the soul. Now that is your indestructible you. It is not a being. It is not Patty. It is not an entity. It is being itself. That is who we really are at our core. The self we're all familiar with, the false self, is the one that the ego tells us about. It is our story of who we are. It is our race, our sexual orientation, our education, our marital status. This is our story of who we are. And that story is really the raw material that we fall through to find out our true identity, our soul identity. It is the experience of your own personal story. So when I looked at Unity Principle 5, that through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know, why is it sometimes so hard to do that? Why is that? I mean, when I look at my own story, I've struggled with Unity Principle 5 over and over again. And it sounds simple enough. But when you're faced with challenges and struggles, sometimes we can't see the truth we're supposed to be living very clearly. Sometimes our thoughts, words, and actions come out of the suffering instead of our divine source. And sometimes it's too hard to remain mindful of the truth of our situation, as our ego is creating a story with us as the victim. I'm the victim of this life. It's really, really hard in those times to live and experience Unity Principle 5. So I've kind of developed a love-hate relationship over the last couple of months with Unity Principle 5, and so I wanted to dig in and try and understand, how do we take these ideas that we talk about here on Sunday, how do we take them and use them in our life in a meaningful way? And this principle is inviting us to do the hardest of all of them. Experience our faith. It's saying, hey, don't just walk around talking a story, live it. So I wanted to look at Unity Principle 5 and try and understand how it operates. So for me, it starts with the details of what's showing up in your life. It's not good or bad, right or wrong, it's just what's showing up. No judgments. So next there comes our human reaction to what is. And we can't help this, folks. We are human. We are going to emotionally react to the things that show up in our lives. We can't stop that. Then we get the ego to step in and start telling the story, writing a little Wednesday night 8 p.m. mini drama of, why is this happening to me? And you're often the victim in the story or the hero. But the ego needs to understand why. Why is this happening to me? Now here's where Unity Principle 5 comes into play for us. This is the junction where we live our faith or we get stuck. We live from our soul or we get stuck in the false self, the ego living. We can either get stuck in our story and just go back around in the cycle, go back through, oh, look what happened to me. Oh, I just feel awful about it, and everything's against me, and we can get stuck in that cycle. Or we can mindfully go to the silence, connect with our soul and our source, and mindfully move forward. How do we do that? How do we mindfully move forward? Well, we begin considering solutions to the problem that's before us. We begin taking actions, not staying stuck in the victim role. We begin taking actions to solve the problem, and we move the story forward. So what comes out of that is now we've created a new condition. We were here, and now with Spirit, we've co-created a new condition for our lives, and we can celebrate that. We're not stuck in the problem anymore. We're not stuck in the challenge anymore. We have moved by using our principles of faith. And if we truly are on a soul journey, we will stop and ask the question, what did I learn from all that? What did I learn from all that? So again, knowing that my life has been taking me through a journey of challenges, I want to walk with you folks through how I've learned to apply Unity Principle 5 to live the truth I know through those challenges. So I want to start, and any of you who've been to talks with me before know, on April 16th, I had the flood in the basement. Okay, so if we go back to the structure that I started with, what's the factual thing that happened? I had a flood in my basement, and it damaged all of the flooring. Okay, so what was my human reaction to that? Well, I was pretty sad and defeated because I'd had water problems before, but not a flood. This was an actual flood. And I did feel a little overwhelmed because I knew now I had to pay attention to this issue. So what did the ego tell me? What was the victim story here? Why did this water problem have to get worse? I mean, I was managing it with a mop and towels, and now I have damage. Oh, and how am I ever going to be able to afford to fix this when I was thinking of retiring just months from now? So the ego was having a great old time with me as the victim. Okay, so in steps, my moment to be mindful and say, okay, everything is okay. How do I mindfully move forward from this flood? So I called the insurance company, and they had a restoration company come in and clean the mess up. I got quotes on getting that foundation dug up and proper drainage put in. And I went and got quotes also on the flooring. So now comes the point of celebration. I've taken that original event and I've created something new. I'm finally going to fix this nagging problem that I've been ignoring for years and put in proper drainage around my house. And what did I learn? Well, folks, I learned that you can only ignore a problem for so long before it's gonna get your attention. Problems don't go away by magic. And the other thing that I learned is nothing that was lost couldn't be replaced. So that sadness and that mourning of, oh dear, I've lost so much. All of it, the material things, are all replaceable. So on May 5th, there I am, mindfully moving forward, and there's the big dig around my house. Believe me, I was like the father in the maternity ward, pacing back and forth the whole time this was going on, because it was scary, the big digging machine. But we made it to the other side, and I have beautiful new drainage around my house, and a sump pump and a backup pump, and I've got it all covered. So what showed up next in my life? What next? The next flood occurred on May 23rd. While we were doing the dig the first time around, the sewer line was broken. That break blocked the sewage water from leaving my house, and it backed up into the house. So what was the event? The factual thing that happened was sewer water flooded my basement during the first dig. We made that mistake, and I had floating poop. I had floating poop. So I think you can probably imagine what my human reaction to that was. Oh, no! Awful, 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 awful. I was overwhelmed. I just spent a fortune, for me, a fortune fixing the first flood, and here I was presented with a whole new problem just weeks later. So, of course, the victim story, the ego, is how could we have made that mistake? How did that young man that I hired the first time around, how did he miss this? It was a big mistake. And how am I ever going to afford this? I'm going to have floating shit in my basement forever. So now I have my opportunity to stay stuck in the story or mindfully move forward. Mindfully move forward. So first thing I did was called the flooring company, which just happens to be my nephew. Hold off on that new flooring. I've got some stuff to clean up before we put that down. Now here's the walking miracle. If I had let the restoration company put the new flooring in when they wanted to, it would have been ruined by this flood. But instead, I asked my nephew, who lays flooring for a living, to do that. So put him on hold. I called a plumber and scheduled the plumber to come in and put a new sewer line in. And I added 1 more month to my employment. I pushed my retirement off 1 month. I can work 1 more month. I've been working for most of my life. I can do this. So from the sewage flood, I created a new condition that my 1952 clay tile pipes will now be up to modern standards, and I should never have to worry about this kind of problem again. And what did I learn? Well, I watched that young man work that did the original dig, and he was very conscientious, and he really worked hard, but he made a mistake. And mistakes happen. Mistakes happen. And I now, with my new sewer line in, I shouldn't ever have to worry about this problem. With 1952 clay tile pipes, this could have happened any time, right? It could have happened any time. And I also feel that it is a little bit of a blessing in disguise because we didn't have that flooring laid down yet, the new flooring. To lose it twice would have hurt. It would have caused me to not be very spiritual in the moment. So, on July 5th, I mindfully moved forward, and the plumbing company came in, dug up my front yard again, and in went the brand new line. Okay, and I could celebrate that fact. So what showed up next is I've got a front yard that is now a mound of dirt. It's been dug up twice, and I can't leave it that way. I can't. So on July 9th, what presented itself is after 2 digs in the front, I have no grass and a big pile of dirt that's going, weeds, weeds, weeds. And my neighborhood, I'm telling you, these people are very conscientious about their lawns. I saw them walking by my house doing this. I saw them. So my emotional reaction to that was worry. I was just really worried that I was going to be the neighbor that brought the giant weeds into everybody else's yard because I had this great big mound of dirt sitting out front. And I felt a sense of urgency too. I got to get this covered. I've got to get this. I wanted to be past it all. I wanted to be in the I'm done mode. So my victim story from this was, I don't have a clue how to lay sod. I have no idea how hard it is, where do you go, who do you order it from, and it's going to cost a fortune. I always have to, my Scottish roots, I always have to go to the poor me, I can't afford it place. So, my mindful movement forward. I can learn how to do this, or I'm going to watch some YouTube videos on how to lay sod. I'll watch more than one because you never know. I'm going to call my niece, who is a landscaper by trade, and get some advice from her about where she orders her sod. I'm going to get that sod ordered, I'm going to get it delivered, and I'm going to get it laid. In the hottest month of July, I'm going to get it laid. And I'm going to do it fast and get it watered, because the one thing my niece told me was watering is the most important part. I don't even want to know about that, Bill. Scottish roots, Scottish roots, Scottish roots. So now I can celebrate the new condition I created. I have the best front yard of the whole neighborhood right now. New sod, new sod. So what did I learn? I can learn how to do pretty much anything if I really want to. And I can celebrate the fact that I have a physically strong, capable body. That sod was heavy. So on July 9th and July 10th and July 11th, I mindfully moved forward and laid that sod all by myself. So what showed up next in my life? I know you thought we were done. The sinkhole. On July 23rd, after a full day of rain the day before, I looked outside, and there in the middle of my beautiful new lawn was a ginormous sinkhole. There was an air pocket left by the plumber when he backfilled into the hole, and from the house to the end of the dig, there was a sinkhole. At one place big enough that I could have probably parked my car. That's how it felt. I know I'm exaggerating. That's the ego. So how did that feel? What the hell? What the hell? That's how it felt. Okay? That's how it felt. And so the ego, of course, said, I have no idea how to fix this. I just laid that sod. Am I going to have to pull all that sod up after all that hard work? Am I going to lose all that sod? How much did that sod cost? Right? And shouldn't the plumber have to fix this? Like plumbers know anything about laying sod, right? So I could have got stuck in that sad story, right, in the ego self, or I could have mindfully moved forward. I called my niece, who is a landscaper by trade, and she gently talked me through, okay, Pat, you've got to peel that sod back. Don't worry, it's fine, except it had already started to adhere. Peel it back. She ordered a truck of topsoil to come and get dumped right into the hole. Ba-boom, there's the sinkhole gone. And she ordered enough extra that we could start building up the gardens that had been destroyed by the last two work crews. So I could celebrate the new condition I created. I now have no sinkhole and beautiful, beautiful front, better than I've ever had, front gardens. So what did I learn? I learned that I can ask for help. I don't have to do this all by myself. I can ask for help from my family, and they're really, really good at what they do. While we were outside working on the gardens, my nephew was in the basement laying the new flooring finally. Beautiful, beautiful new flooring. And I remain proud of the fact that I have a physically strong, capable body to do this hard, hard work. So on July 9th, there we are. The sinkhole is fixed. There's no more place for me to park my soul in the middle of my lawn. And look at how cute and pretty my front gardens are. Just beautiful. So that is basically how I've walked through applying Unity Principle 5. Now, I was not done with opportunities to apply it, because on July 28th, the storage container on my front lawn, where I was storing everything while we fixed the floor, leaked, and much of the furniture inside it had gone to mold. Then on August 1st, my dogs ate the rats that we scattered when we put the new sewer line in, and my neighbors had put poison out for the rats, and my dogs ate the rats and became very sick. And as of this morning, I'm very confident they're fully going to recover. And on August 2nd, my car was broken into. Okay. So here's the sunny side up. The night before this break-in, I was paying my niece and nephew in cash, and I went to the bank and I only have a $500 limit. Thank you, Spirit. And I left the envelope on the console in full view the night before the thief showed up. So he didn't get it. He got $6 in coffee money, that's all. So all is well. Everyone, everything is okay. Everything is okay. So, lessons learned. Lessons learned. Unity folks, don't do the math. Don't let people convince you that you need to do the ego story of, well, my gosh, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. Someone's out to get you. God's trying to teach you a lesson. We know that that's not how it works. There's no entity out there pushing these challenges down on me to prove something. It's just life showing up. It's just life showing up. And we have to remain mindful and present of what's before us right now. Not what happened yesterday or last month. Let's stay here now. I want to tell you real quick, and I know I'm over time and I'm going to be in trouble. Reverend Laurie's probably, hi, sorry. My friend, the young friend of mine who was in that terrible car accident where there were fatalities and she was in a coma for weeks, has awakened. But one of the conditions of her traumatic brain injury is she has no short-term memory. So, as an example of how that presents itself, the nurses work 12-hour shifts. And every time the same nurse comes into her room, she doesn't remember that she's seen her that day. And always greets her like it's the first time she's seen her that day. Hi, I'm so glad you're here. Gosh, you're pretty. That's how she sees that woman or that nurse every time. And I know that there's a lot of ways we could look at that and say, oh, that poor girl, but there's another way of saying, wow, that traumatic brain injury is allowing her to live the principle of staying present. She has no memory of past stuff to weigh down her current situation. So she's always joyful and always happy and always loving. It turns out to be a bit of a gift. So that's what we're challenged to do, is to stay mindful and present and remain clear of the truth. Everything is okay, despite the appearances before you. Everything's okay. Spirit's got us. There's nothing but love for us. And now, I also want to remind all of you that if we can't do Unity Principle 5, the other 4 principles don't matter. If we're not willing to live the truth we know, it doesn't matter that God is love and that we are part of that love and that we can use our thoughts to create our reality and that we can rely on meditation and prayer. It doesn't matter if we're not willing to live our truth. So I want to go back to that original statement that caused me to want to punch people in the nose. We know and trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should for our highest and greatest good. I think for Unity, that statement actually becomes, we know and trust that any situation that life presents to us can be used to achieve a higher and greater good. It can be used to achieve a higher and greater good. We can transform it from a caterpillar, or from, butterfly, caterpillar. You know, you get it. Eckhart Tolle reminds us the primary cause of unhappiness is never the situation, but your thoughts about it. Okay, guys, life is our playground for soulful living. Soulful living. You've got this. You've got this. Let's take that into meditation. As we settle into our chairs and we invite into our mind the knowing that despite what shows up in our lives, despite the fact that all of us will be challenged with struggle, we can know that everything is okay. We can release the story the ego wants us to recite and turn to that silent, calm, peaceful place inside us where we meet the soul. We trust the soul is sourced and energized by love. All the answers to the strife that is showing up in our lives can be found in that love. I invite you now, if you're holding thoughts of struggle and strife and challenge in your life, that you take this next few moments to release them and let that ego story of you as the victim go. Reach down to your loving core, your soul being, and know everything is okay. Take that time now to find peaceful, loving truth. With our thoughts, words, and actions, we at Unity live the truth we know. There is only love.
affirm by singing our offertory song.
Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Patty mentioned Spirit in her wonderful talk this morning, and thank you for that, Patty. That really was wonderful. This next song that we'd like to share with you is a song that is about the experience of bringing Spirit into our lives and what that can do to us, and what Carlin and I have been experiencing in the last few weeks as we come to know more about unity and come to feel more and more part of the unity community. So the Spirit love, this is what Spirit love means to us, and we hope that it has a similar meaning to you. Spirit love has lifted me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, keep building the fire, and I'll be at your side forevermore. 'Cause Spirit love keeps on lifting me higher and higher, higher. Spirit love keeps on lifting me higher and higher, higher. Well, feel free to clap if you want. There you go. Now once I was downhearted. Disappointment was my closest friend. But Spirit came and disappointment departed, and never showed his face again. 'Cause Spirit love keep lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. Spirit love keeps on lifting me higher and higher. Well, I'm so glad I finally found you. I feel like my banner is unfurled, and now with such loving arms around me, I can stand up and face the world. 'Cause Spirit love keeps on lifting me higher and higher. Spirit love, ooh, keep on lifting me higher and higher. Yeah, yeah, Spirit love lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. Yeah, Spirit love keep lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Spirit love lifting us higher and higher. Peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
May we go forth this week, living our truth, and knowing that whatever comes to us, we know that we are love, and that's all there is.
Spread the word of what unity can offer. Spread the word of the message that you've heard. Spread the word of what it means to you in your life. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Spread the word of all the things we shared this morning. Spread the word that you're surrounded here by love. Spread the word that our doors and hearts are open. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Spread the word to anyone who's lost and lonely. Spread the word as you go forth from this family. Spread the word. Spirit welcomes all who come here. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Spread the word of all the things we shared this morning. Spread the word that you're surrounded here by love. Spread the word that our doors and hearts are open. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word.